Anyone who's been watching our YouTube channel knows that I eschew shortcuts because there aren't any. There aren't any easy ways to get into your dream MBA program. So while today's topic is tips and tricks, know that my ultimate guide actually leads to the opposite, a lot of hard work. My first tip: understand the admissions requirements and have a plan to optimize each well in advance of your application year. Many applicants think about their MBA admissions process a few months before they apply, and that is when very little can be done to improve their chances. Just as an example, if you have a low GPA, we can work with you over a few years to bolster your test scores, take supplemental classes, or take HBS Core or another designation that attests to your readiness to pursue your MBA. These steps take time, and if you don't have any of that, well, you can't do much to solve that problem. So again, know what's being measured and work to bolster your strengths and mitigate those weaknesses. And we offer a free half-hour consultation to any prospective applicant so that you can get a handle on those strengths and weaknesses. My second tip: show initiative. This dovetails nicely with my previous point because it's tough to suddenly show initiative prior to your admissions deadline. You need to assess your profile and determine whether or not you've shown initiative, and if you've not, you can get cracking now. Initiative, doing, starting, creating. There's no one trait that an admissions officer must see in your profile, but these are synonyms around initiative that admissions officers love to see. Can you show that something is yours? You don't need to have revolutionized your company and created that new $500 million product line. If you have, that's great. But if you can simply show that you own something, that you developed and implemented training, you diversified the pipeline, you changed the process by which your firm or community organization was doing something, you recruited new volunteers to solve a problem, you found a way to motivate and inspire another to greater heights, you launched that rec baseball team that fortuitously lifted your office's morale, you found that expert who briefed your organization and made you all better. Whatever it may be, you did it. You had your impact, hopefully in more than just one area. If you can speak to that, amazing. If you can't, back to tip 1, get cracking. Our third tip: engage the AdCom. A word of caution here: this doesn't mean that you need to engage them at all costs or elbow others out of the way at admissions events to make yourself known. Obviously, there's good and bad engagement. Let's talk about the former, and in a nutshell, let's call it consistent positive engagement. It's unlikely that you'll just connect randomly with an admissions officer who'll advocate for you when they meet to make a decision on your file. Instead, consistent positive engagement. You need to show interest and fortuitously build relationships. After you're done watching this video, create accounts with your target programs. This will both ensure that you're on their email lists and are made aware of opportunities to engage, and it will also start the clock in a way. It will show them that you've hopefully been quite intentional quite early on in your process and that your interest in their program is sincere. Imagine you're on an AdCom and you review a file and see that an applicant created an account 2 years earlier. And then you read another, and that individual created his account 2 weeks before the deadline. Who do you think you would view as more sincere in their interest? The 2-year applicant, of course. So create that account and then attend events that are offered and interest you. Don't just register, attend. A bunch of missed events can negatively identify you. And then, while attending events, ask sincere, thoughtful questions showing that you're actively listening. It may not surprise you, but we find that those who are not trying too hard but are led by their keen interest tend to fortuitously connect with AdCom members rather than those who are obviously trying way too hard. Meantime, you can also connect thoughtfully with students and alums through your network or through ambassadorial opportunities offered by the schools. You may want to visit your target schools to the extent it is feasible for you. Again, hearkening back to what I said earlier, who would you admit? The individual who signed up 2 weeks ago or the one who signed up 2 years ago, attended admissions events, spoke to alums and spoke to students thoughtfully, and whose name may even be recalled by an admissions officer or two because of his or her thoughtful questions? Which one do you think is more serious about your program? In short, you need to be that engaged student. Our fourth tip flows from our third. Reveal your connection. Because you acted on the last piece of advice, we know that you learned a lot about your target program. Now, you need to reveal that in your application. If a program offers you an essay opportunity or asks you in an interview, why do you want to attend our program? You need to nail your response. Your job isn't to start rattling off a list of classes you'll take, but you'll need to give a thorough and reasoned response citing classes, experiential opportunities, teaching techniques, extracurricular opportunities, and more to show that you've really done your homework and really fit with your target program. Quick note. In On Track by mbaMission, our on-demand MBA application platform, I not only emphasize how to reveal fit in several specific lessons within our personal statement and interview modules, I also walk you through 6 personal statements comparing and contrasting strong and weak essays and take you through half a dozen interview question responses so that you don't make mistakes and miss your opportunity. This is an area where, if you make the wrong impression and fail to show fit, you can quickly find yourself dinged. In On Track, we make sure you understand how to execute. Our 5th tip, know yourself, be yourself. If you apply to a few MBA programs, you'll undoubtedly be asked about your purpose in life, your career goals, your need to get an MBA, specific instances where you've led or performed as part of a team. You'll be asked implicitly or explicitly what you could contribute to your program and more. Before you can answer these questions, you need to brainstorm thoroughly. And again, in On Track, we have a brainstorming module and guided questionnaire to help you answer all of these questions with anecdotes and examples. If you're working with an mbaMission consultant, this is the foundation of just about all the work we'll do together. When you have an essay, short answer, interview question, or even a resume bullet to craft, know that your best response is the one that is sincere. Your MBA program isn't seeking a type of applicant, they're striving to identify authentic individuals who can show how their values empower them. Some people know themselves quite well, but for others, possibly for most, you should definitely take the time to go through every micro accomplishment, every macro trait, and even ask family or friends to share their thoughts about your characteristics and strengths. You really must ensure that you know that what you are saying about yourself is connected to what is appearing in your application. You need to give a full picture of yourself, and all of that comes from simply being honest and then transmitting that honest picture to the AdCom. That was a lot, but if you're listening now and taking these preparatory steps seriously, and then you reveal your connection to your target program and truly share an authentic window into your life experience, you'll have your best chance for success. Next up, watch the first episode of the mbaMission podcast, where Harold Szymanski and I discuss the MBA application process at large.